Hello, Internet. Against my better judgment, I am live. Again. It happens. The world today seems absolutely crackers, where nuclear bombs can blow us all sky high. There's fools and idiots sitting on the triggers. It's depressing, it's senseless, and that's why I'm not gonna finish that song. It's not really appropriate in today's culture. Good old Monty Python. I didn't know what else to say, and I just really wanted to say all that. All right. I suppose let's just get cracking. So I did like 2 or 3 off stream. Most recent, Chain of Elephants. Simple, make a linked list kind of thing going on here. Is that 45 optionals is what we're currently on. I can't do it that way. Here it is. Here's our linked list where we've got our value that we're storing, just a U8. The tail, the elephant that it's connected to, visited, and we just have this visited thing because they're in a loop, and that's to prevent us from going all the way around. You know, more than once. We need to follow the loop once and stop before we get to the end. Stop when... Never mind. I know in my brain, my failing brain, what I mean. It is 1:24 a.m. in Alaska. Last I checked, is it dark yet, actually? I don't know. I'm dying of curiosity now. It looks the way 7 p.m. looks in Arkansas this time of year, or no, in the fall, I guess. Maybe 8 p.m., 8 to 9. You know, there's light in the sky, but the sun is gone for at least an hour or two. I went out left my been on vacation this week, and I left my apartment, I think, for the first time. Yeah, that's the first time I set a single foot outside my apartment. No, I might have set a single foot out to grab delivered groceries. I don't remember. It's not important. The thing is, agoraphobia. It's good for you. It's good for me. Optionals. What does it look like if I chat? It looks like that. It's very tiny. Barely legible on stream. I'll work on it. One thought was to actually work on the CSS for making that look good instead of doing this. But I only thought that as I was setting up this stream, and I already had a plan and a vision. I had been doing this week sober, but tonight is different. It just seemed like I had gone too long. I don't know. I don't have a good excuse. Seemed like such a good idea at the time. Okay. All right, let's see. See if we're loosened up enough for this. You know, I think I can get away with loading Firebot just so that I can make noises. Oh, yeah, that's how I that's another thing I need to fix. Haven't. Will. Something I should fix this week. I really should. Never mind. I'll... This is just as ADD as last time. I think all the effort it takes to talk is what does this to me. I could just sit here in silence. But the whole point of me streaming is for random strangers to want to listen to me babble. There are people out there in this world that's what they're into. We just have to find them. Okay. My screen, it's a 55-inch OLED, and it keeps auto-dimming, and I'm like, stop it. You're fine. And you have to hack the Gibson to get it to stop doing that. It's like, there's not enough motion on screen. It'll be fine. I have lived this long with avoiding any burn-in. What's weird is transparency kind of looks like burn-in, but it's not, I promise. Okay. Before we can use the optional value... Oh, hey. Alright, I turned this on so I could tell everybody that we're going to Neptune.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, in approximately 2 hours and 23 minutes, we'll be arriving in the orbit of Neptune. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Ooh, good.
It gets picked up on the mic a little bit. So it probably sounded like a bit of an echo, but it's fine. Alright, so before we can use the optional value, yeah, foo equals null. If foo equals null, begins screaming. That's funny. Before we can use the optional value as the non-null type, a U32 integer in this case, we need to guarantee that it isn't null. One way we do this is to threaten it with the or else statement. That's funny. Foo or else 2. Here, bar will either equal the U32 integer value stored in foo, or it will equal 2 if foo was null. What does it want, Precious? Just a little bit bigger. Alright, const result equal deep thought. Deep thought's down here. Deep thought literally just returns null. That's funny. Seems deep thought's output has declined in quality, but we'll leave this as is. Sorry, deep thought. So const result is null. Please threaten the result so that that answer can't read. Please threaten the result so that answer is either the integer value from deep thought or the number 42. So we're going to say or else 42. Class from the past optionals are a lot like error union types, which can either hold a value or an error. Likewise, the or else statement is like the catch statement used to unwrap a value or supply a default value. Bar may be bad, error U32, error.evil, var number U32 may be bad, catch 0. It is similar, yes. But does it compile? Hooray! The ultimate answer is 42. That is correct. Because we told it what the answer was. Alright, number... that was 45. 46. Now that we have optional types, we can apply them to structs. The last time we checked in with our elephants, we had to link all three of them together in a circle so that the last tail linked to the first elephant. This is because we had no concept of a tail that didn't point to another elephant. We introduced the Indy dot question mark shortcut. Foo const foo equals bar dot question mark is the same as or else unreachable. Aha! I don't specifically remember that. That's hence the aha. I don't know what it is about streaming, but it makes my nose stuffy. Why, again, it's fine. Maybe because I went outside. I didn't go outside last time. It's not a problem. What is important is poisoning the liver. Alright, skip a bit, brother. So now, tail is set to null. How did we... Oh, it just defaults to null. Check out where we use this shortcut below to change control flow based on if an optional value exists. Oh. Hold on. There's not some special way to... Oh, aha. Here, this. That's it. So it does need something instead of just star elephant. It should be question mark star elephant. And do we really need visited? Oh, I guess we still do because we're not guaranteeing that it's not. Oh, and here we have a link elephants thing where what we did it manually. Oh, this is not that. So here we just in main we linked them manually, and here we create the elephants and then we use a link elephants thing. Link the elephants so that each tail points to the next. A to B, B to C. And now does C need to point back to A again? Where we didn't do that last time, it was a circle. This works as a line. A is getting linked. A's tail is B, B's tail is C. Link elephants will stop the program if you try and link an elephant that doesn't exist. Uncomment and see what happens. Const missing elephant. I don't really need to see what happens. Well, maybe we will. We're supposed to be doing this fast. Quote unquote, heavy, thick air quotes, fast. Link elephants is just, oh yeah, it's or else unreachable. That's equivalent, right? So here we're just saying, we're demanding that they not be null. E1 and E2. And then we call visit elephants starting with A. Now this U is like a formatting hint. Is U for character, or is U for specifically like we're turning a U8 into a character? Alright, let's just save it. And save it. Yeah, line 69. I wonder if they did that on purpose. Here we go. So there's this thing we do, which is similar to so like what is it, Odin. In Odin, if you want to modify a variable that you're taking into a function like that, then you have to save it by like declaring a new variable on the inside and assigning it to that thing, or it won't let you modify it if you don't do that. And so it looks like Zig is doing that. Say var E is our first elephant. While E is not visited, and it says we want something similar to what that does, but instead of ending the program, we want it to exit the loop, and that just seems like it's gonna be or else break. So oh, maybe just assigning it as var is because when it comes in, you can't tell it. I think everything that's here is assumed to be constant. And when we assign it to var, we're just saying var E is equal to this pointer, and then here we're just advancing the pointer by assigning it to its tail effectively. Not like a simple list or a simple array where we just bump the pointer up, not like that, but Anyway, that should work. And yes, it did. So on to 47. Help! Evil alien creatures have hidden eggs all over the earth, and they're starting to hatch. Before you jump into battle, you'll need to know 3 things. 1. You can attach functions to structs and other type definitions. Const foo equals struct. Oh, fun. Hello. Methods. Yeah. Let's get rid of all this. Yeah. And you can make anonymous structs and put functions in those anonymous structs, which is interesting. A function that is a member of a struct is namespaced within that struct and is called by specifying the namespace and then using the dot syntax. So foo.hello now if you do it like an anonymous thing, then it's just the variable name, right? Or is it? I was looking into anonymous functions in Zig. Just out of curiosity. A function that is a member of a struct is namespaced. Oh yes, we got that. The neat feature of these functions is that if their first argument is an instance of the struct or a pointer to one, then we can use the instance as the namespace instead of the type. So self bar, this star bar, bar, const bar. As long as it's some kind of bar, those all work. You can call it this, you can call it self, you can call it bar. It doesn't matter. I like that. Honestly, there are things about Rust that I would like to remix. One thing, what exactly was it? Oh, actually in Rust, what I really wanted to do was to have, when you're declaring a function, have self dot function name, like fn space self dot function name, be equivalent to having self as the first thing. But then if you did that, you'd have to... Hold on. Think about it visually. So we say hub fund to make it an and self, I guess you would just say and self dot my method etc. So this way is the way that you normally do it. And it won't let you specify the name. That's if it would let you specify the name, it would look something like that. And then you could say stuff like this. But it won't let you do that. Then I also kind of like the hat syntax from Odin. There we go. The hat syntax from Odin. So, like in Odin, if you want, if you're saying that something takes a pointer, you're doing that. If you're saying you want to take something and make a pointer, hold on. Let's get rid of all this garbage, actually. Crap, it took the, there. What was I doing? Oh. Yeah, so like, if you're saying that a function takes a pointer, you're like, pointer. If you're dereferencing a pointer, you're a pointer, and you put the hat afterwards. And I like that. But if you just want to say that, so like, X is a pointer to U8, then you would say, and my U8, so something like that. So the and is to create a pointer from something, and then that the hat is for specifying, like, you only use the hat for whether you want a pointer, not to make a pointer. And enough rambling about that. Sidetracks. Me and my sidetracks. Even if I refresh that testing is not going to go away, huh? Okay. Okay, you're armed. Now, please zap the alien structs until they're all gone, or the Earth will be doomed. So we import standard, of course. Then cost alien struct health U8. We hate this method. Pub fun hatch. Returns a new alien with strength times 5. Where is it getting strength? Oh. Times 5? Wow. Health equals strength times 5. So 1, 5, 2, 10, etc. I don't know why I'm demonstrating that I can do very small math operations. Const heat ray. Damage U8. We love this method. Is there anything wrong with it? Alien dot health. So we take a pointer to an alien, and then we minus equals if self dot damage is greater than or equal to alien dot health, then we minus equals alien health. Oh, right. This is just saying that it's a U8, so it can't be negative, and so we don't want to subtract more from alien health than alien health that exists. Makes sense. Man, look at all of these aliens of various strengths. Aliens, alien dot hatch 2, 1, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3. So we hatch a bunch of aliens and put them in an array. And var aliens alive, aliens dot length. So we they're all alive first. Heat ray. We set damage to 7 on our heat ray. We've been given a heat ray weapon. Hooray! We'll keep checking to see if we killed all the aliens yet. While aliens alive is greater than 0, aliens alive equals 0, and then I suppose, oh yeah, if alien dot health is greater than 0, then we increase the counter for how many aliens are there. So zap the alien with the heat ray here. So great. Alien is just alien. Ziglings are a bit simplistic, a little bit tricky in that you get used to there being one thing wrong, and then when there's a couple things wrong, you're like, oh, it didn't compile first try. What's going on here? Now that we've seen how methods work, let's see if we can help our elephants out a bit more with some elephant methods. Back to the elephants again. Okay. So our linked list now has some methods for it. Get tail, and that just returns a pointer to this. We've got get tail. Oh, okay, all right. So it returns a non-nullable version, but we're expected to call has tail first and only get tail if has tail. Visit self.visited equals true. Hooray, we can just call .visit on our elephant and not have to manually do that. That's fantastic. And if we actually wanted it to be useful, then we'd have to have a way to reset our list. You know, I have re-implemented my Sudoku solver in like a bunch of languages, and this would be a good target because it would be easier than it would be in Rust to do things like simple coloring. There are ways to do it, you know, in Rust. I don't think that I couldn't do. Space takes us. Okay. So simple coloring, you imagine a Sudoku, and then you've got a bunch of places where one specific number can be, and if there's two, like in a row, there's two places where a 9 could be. And then I don't remember if it has to share with another thing. I think it's just like you pick, you have, going with our 9 example, there's only two spots where 9 could be. You color one of them red and the other one blue, or whatever, you know, pick your colors, just two different colors. And then if there's let's say that's a row, and then you check for both of those if either a column or a box also has two places where 9 could be. And like you've got it to a point where you've got this chain that goes all the way around the board or something of where 9s could be, where they it's one or the other in. So you've got a row connected to a box or a column, etc., as a chain of where 9 can only be here or here, and that affects the next link in the chain, and you follow the chain around, and until you get to a contradiction. And then once you have a contradiction, then you can eliminate the color that caused the contradiction, and that means that the other one is correct. And you just go around the board and set all the other color, the one that didn't cause the contradiction, just go ahead and fill that in for your answer, right? And I'm pretty sure I did simple coloring in Haskell and in Ruby, and my other re-implementations of a Sudoku solver, where it's not like brute force is off the table. It's all about implementing known methods. And X-Wings and simple coloring are a couple of my favorites. I don't think I ever did multicoloring, but you know, you could do it. You know, got to be able to hold my attention span for long enough to get that far. It's tricky. Okay. I got a giant bag of pretzel crisps, Snack Factory brand pretzel crisps from the Costco, land of all things giant, and they are really good. It's basically just the best part of a pretzel. And it doesn't, it's not as dry. I mean, it's dry. Pretzels are dry. And they're not good when they're not, you know. But you eat regular pretzels and it just like your mouth is just water, you know? These are not that bad. It's still salty. Salt good. Alright. And here we're printing. We want to print the elephant where the letter and whether or not it's visible. Okay, this links the elephant so that each tail points to the next. Yes. But Oh, we don't have a set tail function. We're just literally assigning it. That's fine. But you go through all this effort and don't have a set tail function? Just do that the old-fashioned way? Alright, so this function visits... Did we... Yeah, we're working on 48. Visits all the elephants at once. No, not at once. All the elephants once. Starting with the first element and following the tails to the next elephant. So while true, print it, visit it. And then it's only going to stop if has tail, change that to get tail. And that's it, right? Zig's enums can also have methods. This comment originally asked if anyone could find instances of enum methods in the wild. The first 5 pull requests were accepted, and here they are. I love the name, Dr. Forrester. Yeah. Well, now I'm curious. I have to do this tell me I did that right. No. I don't have that set up right, I guess. Ink selections to clipboard. Ink main selection to clipboard. What's the difference? If I just try to open it like it's a regular link, it's gonna open in Firefox, which has a billion freaking tabs that I won't close. So LibreFox is what I use to just have a few things open. So here we have an enum with different file types, and it looks like it's literally just one function on the enum. Clang supports dep file extension. Okay. You'd have to say file x dot clang support step file. Oh. And only the first 3. No, you don't. You can say whatever, you've got the file X assigned something, and it's going to be one of these, and then you can just call clang support step file on that, and if it is C or CPP or H, it's true, otherwise it's false. Interesting. That's an interesting idea, though. It's been a bit simple in practice, being that it just does true or false on that one. But you could have an enum with methods that tell you things about whichever one that is, whatever you picked. One of my favorite things about Rust enums is that you can include information so like because their enums are kind of more like unions. But it would be like having a union with my brain. It would be like having a union with generic, which can you do a union with a generic in Zig? Maybe. Hooray, passed A, B, C, it worked. And points and tails are handy things from holding hands. Valinorian link. I have a weird obsession with elephants. So, now that we have tails all figured out, can you implement trunks? And this is... Does this make it a doubly linked list where you can run up and down? Alright, so const elephant equals struct, letter, tail, trunk, visited, get tail, has tail, and so we just want get trunk and has trunk? I was gonna just copy and paste get tail and whatnot, but I can type. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, so I do like that you don't have to, you just, in the quotes, and you don't have to have any extra thing. Like, in Rust, you have to have the arrow saying what the turn type is. And here, you just do it. Because there's order to things. It makes sense. So, that's another thing that I would, in Rust, it would be nice to just get rid of that unnecessary pointer. You know, it's dash greater than sign. Because it's so not necessary. Anyway, concentrate here. Elephant. But in this, I wish you could do this. Because you can do that in... you can do that in Rust. But we're not going to be able to get away with that here. Elephant. So get tail has tail, get trunk is return. Question mark. We don't want to call that. Unless we've said has trunk. Self. Like saying star.self here. Not star.self. Star self dot. Instead of having to write self colon space star elephant. Would be amazeballs. So like in Ruby, if you want something to be like if this were some kind of weird Ruby system, there it is, we would say at has trunk to imply this whole self thing and just say this is a method that's specifically using an instance of whatever the current struct is, in this case element, so an instance of self. And two ats means that it's a class level, means that you would say capital elephant dot and then this method, and it's less verbose, and as long as you know that that's what that means in Ruby, then it makes perfect sense. Anyway. Anyway, so here we want to say oh. I suppose the parentheses are to guarantee that we calculate this before we try to do the return. Seems like something that would make things easier on the compiler. Grouping things like that. Your elephant trunk method goes here? No, it doesn't. method still here. There's more than one. Anyway, everything else should be the same. Did they leave us anything else that's wrong? Visit elephants. This function visits all elephants twice, tails to trunks. Oh, okay. So it keeps going after that. I get it. So we follow the tails back and then we'll... Do we want to... Are we not setting them to not visited, or we're just assuming... Okay, we're assuming it's not a circle in both of these. Because we're not even bothered... So we're setting visit here, but we're not using it. We're not accessing whether it's visited. We're printing whether it's visited. Trunk and good trunk. Nothing looks broken. Does it build? Ziglings hint, now you're writing Zig? How is that a hint? Okay, so... And this is stupid. Elephant A's tail links to B, so B's trunk should just automatically link to A. We should have a method for this at this point. That's silly. Has trunk. Get trunk. This gets the previous elephant 4 stops. B's trunk is A, and C's trunk is B. So we should be, when we get here, we should be on C. It's calling has trunk and it's failing. Which sounds like has trunk, has tail. Self, star dot elephant, turn, in parentheses, self dot tail, oh my god. Hooray! We did it right. What are we on? 50? We live on a placid island of ignorance, in the midst of black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage far. In the Call of Cthulhu. It makes me wish I would have read that better. We live on a placid island of ignorance, in the midst of not a black sea, of black seas. We live on a placid island of ignorance, in the midst of black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage far. He had an interesting mind, a bit racist, but it was 19 whatever. Somewhere in the 1910s, I think. Maybe on into the 20s, I can't remember the specifics. Basically, everybody was like, it's just the way things are. But he was especially racist and xenophobic. Perhaps even for the time. Anyway, off on another tangent. Fighting the tangents is hard. Zig has at least 4 ways of expressing no value. Star undefined. No, the star is just a bullet in this case. So undefined. Varfu U8 equals undefined. Null Varfu. So undefined should not be thought of as a value, but as a way of telling the compiler that you are not assigning a value yet. It's going to complain if you never assign the value, or if you try to use the value without assigning it first. The compiler will be like, "This is what you think this is." Varfu. So here it's question mark U8, so we're saying that it's nullable, and we're setting it to null, and when it's nullable, that means that we have to check whether it's null before we try to do anything with it, and the compiler should complain if we don't. Error. So here's an error union, and we can set it to an error. Errors are very similar to nulls. They are a value, but they usually indicate that the real value you are looking for does not exist. Instead, you have an error. The example error union type of my error, exclamation point, my error bang U8, means that who either holds a U8 value or an error. There is no value of type U8 in foo when it's set to an error. Yeah. Void Varfu void. You can set void to variable. I can understand doing a union with void, but I'm not sure what use setting void to a variable is. Void is a type, not a value. It is the most popular of the 0-bit types. The most popular. Those types which take up absolutely no space and have only a semantic value. When compiled to executable code, 0-bit types generate no code at all. The above example shows a variable foo of type void, which is assigned the value of an empty expression. It's much more common to see void as the return type of a function that returns nothing. Saying, generally, you are not going to see someone have an actual value that is an actual variable that is declared to be of type void, which you can only store nothing in. Because you can't use it. And you can't just check and say, hey, does var foo exist? You can't do that. It's not set up for that. Can you say, is var foo of type void? Because that would have to generate code. It is the most popular of the 0-bit types. What other 0-bit types are there? So here we need to pick which one we want. So this one should be undefined because we set it right here. Here we're just declaring the type. Here we're assigning the value. Here, is it just... Oh, the error is Cthulhu. Can I just say Cthulhu? Oh, they include the... There's multiple spellings, and some of them don't have the vowels in the middle. The whole point of we have like a set spelling for identification, but they're not actually meant to be pronounceable by human tongues. Oh, is it? It would be like dot Cthulhu, right? Is that how that works? Or do I have to say error dot Cthulhu? We'll see if that works. Because I don't specifically remember, and letting the compiler tell us is the best way. Print second line. should return void. And for second line 2. Oh, it's inside that function. We didn't use null yet, so we can't do that. Now, how do you... Man. I must be allergic to streaming. Bar. First line. Oh, spaced out. Forgot. We're actually done with that. That is not dead, which can eternal lie, and with strange eons even death may die. Something for everybody in the old Ziglings showcase. People who like elephants, people who are into Cthulhu. This is very Halloween-esque, but I think legally distinct. Yeah, just barely legally distinct. Oh my god. The music from Halloween, I have an interesting relationship with the music from Halloween. In high school, I got a chance to partake in working in a haunted house. I think it was some kind of charity group or something that does this haunted house every year, and my class got invited to work in the thing if we wanted, and I think I just did it. It was either I did it like 1 or 2 nights. I can't specifically remember. And I had a setup where the hall goes by this little room, and it's just, this is just it's a kind of a maze situation, or just like a hall that's with little side rooms, and just made up of more cloth than actual any kind of wall kind of thing. And they're just pumping Halloween, the music from Halloween, over the loudspeakers over and over for hours. And I had access to a mask that was so in the movie Halloween, I was just borrowing this mask from somebody who was very insistent that I be very careful with it. It was their mask. The original Halloween, they took a Captain Kirk old school Star Wars, let me try that again. Old school Star Trek, 60s Star Trek Captain Kirk mask, and they just spray painted it silver. And or white or something. They spray painted it to take all the, life out of it. And that's what they used as the Halloween mask. And so I think that his mask was made the same way. So it was the one that I was borrowing. Something like that. So, more or less authentic-ish. The mask isn't important, but I was wearing a mask, and then and they just had like a box full of costume stuff, and I found some monster hands and that mask, and I get stuck in this little side room thing where there's going to be a tour going through the hall in front of me, and quote unquote hall, again, not real walls, and I have stocks, where your head is in the middle and your hands are on the sides, and you're like locked up, with your head and your hands in the stocks, right? And a guillotine. And the guillotine there's like a fake head that you reload into the guillotine. And there's a piece of wood on a hinge. I think it was wood. Where when the guillotine comes down, the wood on a hinge, you prop the head in underneath this wood on a hinge, so that the wood on a hinge is going out at an angle. When the guillotine comes down, it forces the wood on the hinge to straighten out, and whatever you have propped in there gets launched out. So when the guillotine drops, it shoots the head out. And I don't think there was a body. I don't think they had a body on the guillotine. And they didn't really give me any real instruction on what to do. They just like, this is what we're gonna have you operate, and they kind of showed me what it does. And I guess that they probably point out, like my job is to be in the stocks, and the rope connected to the guillotine is in the stocks. The stocks are not locked. When I'm in the stocks, and then I reach out and like swipe at like in the direction of the crowd as they go by. When I do that, the guillotine drops at the same time and launches the head out. This is one of my favorite things that I've ever done in my whole life, and I peaked at that moment, obviously, and nothing in life has ever been worth doing ever since, more or less. Maybe I care too much about scaring people. Good times. So I had a couple of dud rounds where they sent in one group after another too quickly, and I hadn't finished setting up again, because after the big scare, if it's a really long line, you only get to scare the people who are literally in front of you with this setup. So a few duds where I'm like, oh crap, I haven't even set it all up again. And then like, I just, you know, would give a non-spirited "arr" and swipe, you know, it's, what are you gonna do? But one of my favorite bits there, I heard a child say, talking about me, that doesn't even look real. This mask that I'm wearing, very convincing, I guess. And that was the best moment ever, to lift up the stalks, release the guillotine, and swipe with my monster hand. And this whole me yapping about that, just because that music sounded a little too close to John Carpenter's Halloween music. Roll somewhere. I'm so happy with this channel name. It makes me smile. Anyway, so back to trying to pretend like that's what this channel is all about. Me writing code and yapping, and you trying to ignore most of what I say when I'm talking about code, and waiting for moments like that where you just love hearing me talk about how I used to frighten little children. It was great. Anyway, I don't think there were any little children. Just, you know, like, 9, 10, 11-year-olds getting dangerously close to being actual teenagers. No one likes teenagers. No one ever has. They should all be destroyed. There's something about the transition from child to adult that people just find distasteful. Speedrun. Okay. If you thought the last exercise was a deep dive, it wasn't. Hold on to your hat, because we are about to descend into the computer's molten core. Shouting, down here, the bits and bytes flow from RAM to the CPU like a hot, dense fluid. The forces are incredible, but how does all of this relate to the data in our Zig programs? Let's head back up to the text editor and find out. Oh my god. Like, it's formatted like an informational television show. Fun stuff. Ah, that's better. Now we can look at some familiar Zig code. Import adds the imported code to your own. In this case, code from the standard library is added to your program and compiled with it. All of this will be loaded into RAM when it runs. Oh, and that thing we named const standard, that's a struct. Yes. So when we import standard, we're importing methods. So structs can have structs as members, and so that's how you get your namespacing. And each of those, you have standard with all the things in standard plus functions that are directly under standard, and then each of the things in standard would have functions directly under them. And yeah, I like that Zig feels like everything is built from something. I like that. It feels very grounded so far. Like most programming languages, you have a certain layer of things that's just the way they are at the bottom. And this seems like a very thin layer of things are just the way they are. Because the standard library is just the way everything else is. You have structs that can contain both values and methods, and the standard library is such a thing. Alright, so remember our old RPG character struct? A struct is really just a very convenient way to deal with memory. These fields, gold, health, experience, are all values of a particular size, and them together, add them together, and you have the size of the struct as a whole. So a size of a U32 plus a U8 plus a U32 is the size of the character struct. Yes. Here we create a character called the narrator, which is a type character that is a constant, immutable. So you cannot change the narrator. It is just a constant. Its health is always 99 and can never be more or less. Its gold is always 12 and can never be more or less. Which means that it cannot spend its gold. It has 12 gold, but those 12 gold are part of its very being and cannot be changed. Its experience is always 9,000. Loaded into it is stored in your program as data, and like the instruction code, it is loaded onto RAM when your program runs. The relative location of this data in memory is hard-coded, and neither the address nor the value changes. This global wizard character is very similar. The address for this data won't change, but the data itself can, since... Oh, it's on... Yeah, it's not inside of something, it's a var at the global level. Okay. Global wizard character is very similar. The address for this data won't change, but the data itself can, since this is a var and not a const. A function is instruction code at a particular address. Function parameters in Zig are always immutable. They are stored in the stack. There we go. A stack is a type of data structure, and the stack is a specific bit of RAM reserved for your program. The CPU has special support for adding and removing things from the stack, so it is an extremely efficient place for memory storage. And when a function executes, the input arguments are often loaded into the beating heart of the CPU itself in registers. Our main function has no input parameters, but it will have a stack entry called a frame. Huh. Do I need to actually know that? It's interesting. Here, the glorp character will be allocated on the stack because each instance of glorp is mutable and therefore unique to the invocation of this function. Var glorp character has 30 gold. The reward XP value is interesting. It's an immutable value const, so even though it is local, it can be put in global data and shared between all invocations. But being such a small value, it may also simply be inlined as a literal value in your instruction code where it is used. So, like, we're talking about how it's going to be when you compile the program, how the data is going to be represented. It's either going to be inlined, so every time you use reward XP somewhere, it's either going to be replaced with 200, or it will be treated like a pointer. This is where the value is, and I feel like most of the time it's going to be inlined, but I could be wrong. It depends on what the value is. If it's a really large value, it's probably more likely to be treated as a pointer, whereas a very small value is probably likely to be inlined. If I had to guess about it. It may also simply be inlined as a literal value in your instruction code where it is used. It's up to the compiler. Now let's circle back to that std struct we imported at the top. Since it's just a regular Zig value, once it's imported, we can also assign new names for its fields and declarations. Debug refers to another struct, and print is a public function namespace within that struct. Let's assign the standard debug print function to a const named print so that we can use this later. So we just want to change this to standard debug print. And I think that will do it. Now let's look at assigning and pointing to values in Zig. We'll try 3 different ways of making a new name to access our glorp character and change one of its values. Glorp Access 1 is incorrectly named. We asked Zig to set aside memory for another character struct. So when we assign Glorp to Glorp Access 1 here, we're actually assigning all of the fields to make a copy. Now we have two separate characters. This is an important thing to note here. And this lesson does not ring any bells. Maybe this is new? I haven't had a whole lot of use of foul language in this stream, but still, I realize that on YouTube, if you say something is not like children should not be here, children should not ever see this, that even though most people are adults and children don't have any money, if you can't advertise to children, you might as well not advertise at all. This is what people seem to feel on a corporate level. It's kind of disgusting. There should be some kind of law to prevent advertisers from this. You probably can't stop it with law. Advertising should be aimed at adults only. Advertising should never be aimed at children. Children don't have the life experience, and their brain isn't finished developing in order to, and there are exceptions, but by and large, they don't have what it takes to understand that advertising is a bunch of really smart people trying to trick you into buying a specific product. Their whole thing is like, how do we, using a short message, get more people to purchase this product, to spend their money in this specific way, to vote some specific way? How do we do that? And they've had years and years of practice. So advertising to children, I don't care if it's toys or what, advertising to children should be illegal. The problem is children watch television. Television is funded by advertising. So like making it illegal to advertise to children would make you, it would force advertisers to say like, hey parents, this toy is really neat and your kid would probably really like this toy, instead of, hey kids, this toy is really neat, make your parents buy it for you. Now, this toy is really neat, make your parents buy it for you is inherently evil. But, hey parents, this toy is really neat, your kid would probably like it, just seems dumb. So we have to ban children from television. guess you'd have to make parents watch X amount of advertising in order to show their children advertising-free kids shows. It just gets dumber as we go. I suppose it's just a matter of serious thought, but it's a common practice. It's wrong. And advertising to children is not the only thing in this world that you can say those two statements about. Some people might argue that advertising to children is fine and there's nothing wrong with it, but those people are advertisers. I'm gonna have so many good clips from this. Just have to figure out how to make clips on YouTube. I guess I could make shorts. Rom's opinion on advertising to children. Rom's opinion on frightening children. Yeah, I think I've effectively said that it's okay to frighten children, but it's not okay to try to convince their parents to buy stuff. But look what you're doing to the poor parents. When you advertise to children, then they are like, Mom, 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 Mom. If you don't buy me this, then I won't be ever anything good in life. Children don't talk like that. Anyway, speedrun. How many hours of speedrun is this? An hour 59, almost 2 hours. 1 minute away now from 2 hours. If I had created a new channel on Twitch, somebody would have started watching this bullshit by now. Somebody would have probably had 2 or 3 looky-loos at least, just to stop in and then say, this isn't for me, and take off. But YouTube doesn't work like that. YouTube is a special beast. And that's why, like, one thing on YouTube is that the lives are set up to where you can create a broadcast before actually broadcasting it, so that you have, this is planning to go live at X time, and I don't know, people can get ready for it that way. I think once you declare the live, then you have access to the chat. And I don't know if other people have access to the chat once you create a live without starting the broadcast. Something to look into. YouTube should, though, they should have like live.youtube.com and make it more Twitch-like. Do live broadcasts in a more Twitch-like fashion. Like, have your own spin on it. Faux show. But YouTube is, it implements live as an afterthought. So it doesn't quite work. Like, I'm pretty sure that I've had 0 looky-loos. I haven't been watching it super closely, actually. I'm not even on the right. Concurrent viewers 0, chat rate 0, views 0, yeah. Average view duration not defined because nobody's watched it. Nobody has popped on just to see, is this worth watching? Is this entertaining? Because YouTube doesn't advertise live broadcasts in the same way as Twitch. On Twitch, there are like people who go out of their way to like go down to the people with 0 viewers and check out what's going on there, just in case it might be interesting. You don't know. Man, I love White Bat. I love it. That's the music. White Bat audio. This is really good. I'm just happy. I don't know what it is about this kind of music, but it just makes me happy. There was a point in time when I was but young that I had a great fear in me, and just about 10 seconds of a horror movie was enough, and I could take no more, and I would change the channel. Part of that fear was being afraid of my parents walking in and asking what I was watching. I was raised by the Mormons, you know. Once I eventually found out that there was no God, I felt better. The horrible Mormon God could not trap me in eternity. That's what they say. They say that almost everybody, they have like 3 levels of heaven instead of, they have Mormons, they don't have a hell. They do have an outer darkness, but it's really hard to get to outer darkness. Your rapists and your murderers go to the lowest kingdom of heaven. Your decent people go to the middle kingdom, and then your super devout Mormons, of course, they go to the highest kingdom. That's what they said, but the only way to go to outer darkness, which to me sounded like the best option, it's effectively the death of the soul-ish. And I imagined it, from what I was told, as just imagine your soul floating alone in a black void forever. You don't get hungry, or I wouldn't expect there to be any discomfort. The worst of the situation is the boredom. It's just you and your thoughts forever. And while I'm sure I would go even crazier than I am now, an eternity just floating in an abyss with nothing but my thoughts. Hell, my thoughts even too would probably eventually die without input. And that would be fine. Just burn my thoughts out until there's nothing left. But anyway, the only way you can get that is what was it? The formula is you have to, rather than having faith, have a knowledge of God's existence. Like, you have been exposed to the actual nature of God and that sort of thing, and then you tell people, nah, it's all bullshit, or something along those lines. You know, as a matter of fact, that there's a God, and you deny it. And that is the only thing, and as I recall anyway, in the whole Mormon business that will get you sent to outer darkness. Other than that, you're condemned to one of the 3 kingdoms of heaven. And you're shittiest of your shitty, just the lowest kingdom of heaven. And like, it would be, I guess the lowest kingdom of heaven is effectively hell. But it's like, it would be like life is kind of the way it is, but for eternity, so maybe it would be a shitty situation where, like, nobody dies, and everybody, like, but you're still, like, hungry or something, and you still have basic requirements, not to keep you from dying, but just to keep you from being horribly uncomfortable. And maybe in the Middle Kingdom, they've got the comfort thing more or less figured out. And then they say that, like, once you're filed into a kingdom, it is... I've heard it say that there's basically no way to progress, but I've also heard it say that it's just like, it's difficult, but you can work your way up in the kingdoms. But like, you know, it might take you 50 billion years of good works and whatnot to get up from, like, you're in the lowest kingdom and you're trying to just... You're like, I'm tired of being here. I should try to make things better, and if I can just make things better, then you work on the condition of your soul, I guess, and that may eventually bump you up, and now you're in the Middle Kingdom. And then if you keep working on things and just keep trying to get more Mormon-like, then maybe another 50 billion years go by and you wind up in the highest kingdom. And once you're in the highest kingdom, that is where your goal... Why am I talking about Mormon theology? Because I'm trying to avoid doing what I'm doing, I think that's what's happening here. But I might as well finish the story. Once you're in that highest kingdom, then, like, the highest kingdom of heaven is like how to be a god training. This is where you have to be bound to another person in a marriage kind of sense, but they call it sealing. You have to be sealed. So in general, it's Mormons sealed in the temple are the only ones getting to the highest kingdom. And so a man and a woman sealed in the temple, and then they can eventually become a god and goddess of their own world, and have a bunch of spirit children and send the spirit children down to get bodies and all that, and then the cycle repeats. You know, it's like a parental kind of thing. It's just like, if you model gods after people, this is what you get. But, like, it's almost got a hint of eugenics too, doesn't it? Because you're only allowing the best of the best to procreate, to create new gods. Because if you allowed people who are shitty to be parents to new gods, my God, you'd have shitty gods on your hands. It makes sense in a kind of horrible, shitty way. That's probably why I drink myself to death. So if I thought that the Mormons were right, what I would have to do is somehow convince God that it's cool to stop pretending and just, like, reveal himself to me, and then just be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I didn't see no God. And talking like this, if I had been exposed to the actual presence of God, would be exactly what I would need to do. But I ain't seen no God. I ain't seen no Satan either. Shortly before I gave up entirely on religion, I figured there was no way to get God to prove that he existed. But I started working on trying to get Satan to prove that he existed. He or she or whatever. You know, it was worth a try. Didn't experience a single thing. And that's not proof of anything, but it was enough for me to like, okay, maybe what these Mormons have fed me my whole life, maybe it's bullshit. And over time, I was able to look into religious claims in general. But Mormons specifically, they're hard-coded to fail. They're so convincing about, you know, the way they are in modern times. They're just very, it's just a family-based religion, a very family-oriented religion, and we're all about family time, and let's all be a family. It sounds culty the more I say it out loud. To me, family is a kind of obligation that I didn't really agree to begin with. It's just, that's just the way things are. And in order to avoid hurting specific people's feelings, then I have to be, well, you know, it's impossible not to love your own mother unless there's something psychologically very different about you. And in my case, it's a compulsion. Even though I'm not good at feeling love, I can feel a sense of attachment and a sense of this is a thing that I must protect. And so if like somebody tried to come at my mom, I would die fighting them, right? I would do what I had to do. But it's just kind of a genetic thing, right? But I'm not good at feeling love on a general level. There was a time, but I'm pretty sure that's burnt out now. When I was a child, I feared things. And at some point, I started out with that, right? I was talking about how weak I was to horror movies as a child, but over time, all my ability to fear burns out. My fear burnt too brightly as a youth, and there's only so much fear you have left in you. And I burnt all mine. At least the regular kind of fear. I still have fear of things being wrong. Like, I need something to be a specific way, and if it's not that specific way, then I have fear and anxiety about it being wrong. So I guess autistic fear? I think there's an infinite supply of that. Things must be a certain way. But at a very young age, I determined that there's no good reason that the universe should exist. Therefore, it should not exist. And I've never been able to let go of that. My entire philosophy is built on none of this should be here. It should all be gone. We have to do something about that. There must be some way to get rid of all this stuff, all this existence, all this nonsense. This idea, from about when I was 6 years old, I've never been able to shake it. It's all got to go. And then I find that this philosophy has shown up in a couple of places. Usually it's associated with bad guys. In the, I just finished watching the 3 seasons of The Wheel of Time that Amazon has. And the character Ishmael basically has my philosophy. When he dies, he like, do you see that? It's nothing. It's so beautiful. You know, like the beauty of nothing. Everything is gone. All I've ever wanted is nothing, and I finally have it. And oh, it's so beautiful. I'm like, God damn it, I'm just sitting here in my room watching this thing and you're calling me out. I am the bad guy in fantasy novels. Not all of them, some of them are, I don't know, they want stupid things. But the best bad guys, they're all like, we gotta get rid of all this existence. It's got to go. There's no good reason for existence. It should all be destroyed. If we could just stop all this existence, we could stop all the pain and the horror and the, you know, you don't need beauty. You don't need happiness. There's not really a huge bonus to that. But the detriment, we can stop the detriment if we can just get rid of all this existence. Because that's where pain comes from. Pain is shitty. That's the boiled down essence of my shitty philosophy. If you enjoy life, you're more than welcome to. I have made no progress in my efforts to cease it. You and your children and your children's children and your children's children's children will most likely never experience the nothingness that I want to bring. because I am incapable. One of my horrible theories is that I am the way I am because I was bound. I was trying to get rid of everything, and maybe I was making some really good effort and really good success in the goal of destroying all things. And all the people who were against that sort of thing, they stopped me. But my soul was unkillable, so they put me in this body which is so limited. This mind that cannot hold an idea and concentrate long enough to see it to fruition. Like, what the fuck that I'm doing right here? What did we do? Like 5 of these? I'm not gonna stop and do the math. No progress. Almost no progress for like, I don't know, what have I been yapping for? An hour? ROM radio never ceases to do the thing. It's really good stuff for certain people. Some people are really gonna dig this. I wonder if I can drink this whole bottle tonight. You know what? I suppose. Can I get a link? I think that'll work. Let's see here. Oh, we got some stuff. Final Fantasy Tactics is getting a remaster. Oh my god, I could just masturbate all over the floor. I'm not going to. Also, this game reminds me so much of Siren instead of Silent Hill. Silent Hill F, lowercase f. Game's new trailer announces September 25 launch. And now, Siren was made by the creator of Silent Hill 1. And I've seen bits about Silent Hill F, and I'm a bit excited, but I'm trying not to think about how excited I actually am. It's actually because I can barely feel excitement anymore. All the feelings that I ever have, they burn out over time until eventually there's literally nothing left that I can feel. And that's why I'm asexual now, is because any of that stuff is not only burnt out, but like the very idea. It's like going back to the mentality of I don't know, 7 or 8 year old, where anything sex-wise sounds disgusting and gross. People do that? I don't know. I don't really know how old you are when you decide that. I've forgotten. And then Recuse points out Resident Evil Requiem What is that? Oh god, and Suda51's at it again. Romeo is a dead man. And that art style reminds me of, what the fuck is that game? Dead something. Dead. Killer is Dead. Oh my god. I love Killer is Dead, but I've never been able to get past like the first couple of levels because like there's this train level and it gets too hard and I need to try again, maybe just to remind myself why I stopped, if nothing else. I'm pretty sure Killer is Dead is Suda51. Suda51 is responsible for oh my god. When did they say that? Yesterday? I didn't look at my Discord all yesterday, I guess. Oh my god. All right. Maybe it's time to get back to, I don't know, writing some code or some bullshit. It's not really writing code, it's correcting code that's already written, but written badly in a specific way on purpose, with a bunch of question marks and whatnot. Oh, God. No time to watch these things. Yeti and Bigfoot vlog. That's funny. Oh. Holy shit, is this? Google Veo 3. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that this is suggesting that this is created by their video generating AI. The world according to AI. Oh, copy the link. I want to copy, not the message link, copy the link. All right, I can't help myself. Oh shit, no, I'm not in my control. Oh, let's see how this goes.
Cold plunges are great for increasing blood flow and improving your mood.
It gives me more energy and feels natural. This is what I eat.
I think that's probably from a big, mean grizzly bear.
Don't let the humans see us.
No way!
This is wild. Collab of the century. Let's go! It's Lion King.
Okay, so today we're doing some cold plunging, which is good for circulation, reduces inflammation, but mostly just good for a mental challenge.
Yeah, ice fishing with my buddy. Just relax and always keep your line tight.
Is that? Is that really? Is that really generated by AI? Getting in Bigfoot vlog, episode 2. Oh my god. This was supposed to be about code.
We trapped this guy last night, can you believe it?
Did
Welcome back to the vlog. Today we're cooking barbecued pork. Check this beauty of a hog out.
it's weird, like, hold on.
These ribs, I'm going to season them up real nice, and a tip is to cut the membrane on the back of the ribs for better cooking.
The tip about seasoning ribs is to always use your fingers to rub the seasoning.
When you put the ribs over the fire, make sure it's on low heat.
We use the honey because it makes the barbecue pork ribs taste great.
Eating beer while you're barbecuing is essential. Cheers. Cheers. It's time for the clan to try my special pork ribs.
Why am I watching this? Oh my god, it's giving me the fear. VO3. What? AI videos in 2025 are getting crazy. Google VO3 tutorial.
AI just completely changed the content creation game. AI video creation has evolved so much since 2021.
Are you real?
Sometimes we can't even say which videos are real and which are AI generated.
I don't know, someone told me the video that you are watching right now has been generated using one single prompt. So, my question is, who am I?
Yep, he is right. All three videos that you just watched were created using one single prompt. No editing or voiceovers added, just one single prompt, VO3. Or else we can say Google AI just changed the whole AI-generated video market. And I can say that this might be the best AI video generator that has been created so far. Last year we got Sora AI from OpenAI.
The first one was...
When I compare the quality, accuracy, and the time that it takes...
was the most convincing.
I think VO3 is the best. So I'm going to show
the
you
ones
how to use
after
this AI
that,
tool to generate videos.
they just
Let's
seemed
see whether
wrong.
it is worth the price or not. This is not a sponsored video. I'm just sharing my honest opinion, guys. If you remember this viral video of Will Smith eating spaghetti, we never thought that this AI video technology would improve from this to this. I literally made this using a single prompt. That's the power of AI.
It looks wrong very subtly. Very subtly. It looks like really, really good video game graphics.
Water drops on the camera. This camera movement is literally similar to a high-budget movie studio. Now, the crazy thing is it only took several minutes and one detailed prompt to make this video. Now, if you look at the prompt of this video, it's
Very
more like a
detailed.
paragraph. It has every single detail about this video. Believe it or not, this is not a real cooking video. I mean, it's just a matter of time when people start to make AI cooking YouTube channels with these videos. Now, if you take a look at the prompt of this video, it's a very simple prompt, and specifically added the audio track, which is this distinct sizzle sound. Now, what you need to understand is that if you want to get good results with this AI, you need to have a prompt with clear instructions. Now, let's go ahead and create some videos. First, you need to go to Google and search for VO3. Then you will come to this page. Now you need to click the Try and Flow option to access VO3. Then click the Create with Flow option. Then you have to sign up using your Google account, and once it's done, you will come to this page, which is where all the magic happens. But as you see here, we don't have any credits to make a new video, so you need to subscribe to this first. Now don't worry, you don't have to pay for this, because they will give the first month for free. You can get 1,000 credits with this free plan, but for first month only. So you can try this today with me. I have signed up and got the first 1,000 credits, and I've already generated several videos with those credits. Let's first generate something cool and simple, like in 1860, a pirate ship is coming toward an island. Two young boys are looking at the ship from the cliff top with strong coastal wind. Let's generate this. As you can see here, the video is currently generated. Looks like the video is complete, but there is no audio, and the quality is not as we expected. I'm not saying this is a bad AI video. Honestly, this is actually good. I mean, we didn't provide much detail, but the reason for that is we actually didn't use VO3. We used the earlier version. That's why this video doesn't have an audio track. So how to use VO3 with audio capabilities? It's simple. Let me show you. First, you need to click this and select the text to video option. I will talk about the other two later, and now you need to click this small icon to go to settings. Now here you can select how many outputs you want this AI to generate. I'm going to select one output because we have...
Okay, why am I still watching this? It's fine. For all I know, because I did that all could get muted. And let's be done with that. Let's look at something not infringing. Well, this is taking a turn. What exactly is it that we're doing in this whole programming thing that we're pretending to be doing on the thing? We're looking at assigning and pointing to values in Zig. Now we'll try 3 different ways of making a new name to access our Glorp character and change one of its values. Glorp access 1 is incorrectly named. We asked Zig to set aside memory for another character struct. So when we assigned Glorp to Glorp access 1 here, we're actually assigning all of the fields to make copy right. So var Glorp access 1 character equals Glorp. And where did we assign Glorp? We assigned Glorp up here. So we say var glorp equals character, and we just assigned gold. Where is character? Character's up here. Gold, health, experience. Health defaults to 100, experience defaults to 0, so we're setting the gold to 30 and just leaving everything else as its defaults. Then we come down here, and we say Glorp access 1, and we're saying Glorp access 1 is equal to Glorp, and that makes a copy, because if we want to make something modifiable, it needs to be a pointer and not the thing. Like in languages like Ruby and maybe Python, I have not done any serious Python development. But in Ruby, it's actually a little bit tricky to try to assure that you're not whether you're modifying something or creating a new thing. And I can't remember because it's been a long time since I've fucked with Ruby. I don't fuck with Ruby no more. I used to really enjoy Ruby syntax. But these days, I've gotten over that whole, what do you mean I can't make an array out of multiple different types of things? Things are getting crazy, and I'm getting scared and afeared. This whole AI thing. Concentrate. You can know that this video is not AI generated, because why would anyone do that? Why would anyone cause AI to generate something this uninteresting for this long? That would be ridiculous. It would be a waste of resources. And that's how you can know with reasonable certainty that none of my content is AI generated, except for the part of my content where I played AI generated videos. Which, like, it's hard to believe that AI can do that now. That's like a really quick leap because they have their training data is like YouTube. There's probably a clause somewhere in there that says, hey, your data is now part of AI research. Thank you. I don't know. I don't care. If they train their... Actually, it's probably going to be weighted in favor of popular videos as opposed to mine, which so far have made zero splash. And it's important. We're not trying to actually attract attention. We're just trying to... This is how we entertain ourselves. Is it coming through? No, okay. Still good. I get paranoid about the microphone picking up the music. Because I'm trying not to have to wear headphones this whole time. It's weird how you can have a series of notes with similar duration and you can argue that one series of notes is better than another series of notes, and that there was a little bit of Halloween-ish feel to it, but it's not great. I've heard better. But I'm not going to disparage the artist because, honestly, like, the music as a whole, it's fine. I don't have any problems with it. But there for a second, it kind of reminded me of Halloween, and that forces me to compare it to Halloween. And I would argue that Halloween is better. But it's still good. I don't have a problem with it at all. It's fine to listen to. But if that's all you're aiming at in life, it's fine. It's not... Yeah, it's up to you. What is this? Almost 3 hours of this stuff. If you're still here, my God, what are you doing with your life? var glorp access 1. Okay, here we're creating a copy. Here we assign glorp.gold. Here we're printing 1 colon and a thing, and we're saying whether or not it's true that Glorp's gold and Glorp Access 1's gold are equivalent. And here it's going to be 1 colon false. Glorp glorp access 2, we're saying glorp access 2 is a pointer to a character. We're saying and glorp. And this looks like it should be correct. And here we say glorp access 2.gold equals 222. What does the comment say? Note, if we tried to do this with a const character instead of a var, changing the gold field would give us a compiler error because const values are immutable. Is that about the following or the previous? You don't need to fix this, but notice what gets printed in your program's output for this one compared to the other two assignments below. So I assume that this note is about this and not above. Glorp access 2 will do what we want. It points to the original glorp's address. Also remembers that we get one implicit dereference with struct fields. We get one implicit dereference with struct fields, so accessing the gold field from glorp access 2 looks just like accessing it from glorp itself. Points to the original okay, alright. One, we also also remember that we get one implicit dereference effectively for free. And here we make sure that glorp gold equals glorp access 2 gold because it's literally the same number. Not just the same value, but the same pointer location. There should be a high-level language that acknowledges the low-level things that are happening. So that you can say, like, you know, in some languages you've got 2 equal signs is equivalent value, 3 equal signs is equivalent value, and it's the exact same item, like, or like equivalent value and struct or something, but that's not quite right. 90. Oh, we did this thing and we saved. Is that literally the only thing that we have to change? Let's go ahead and recompile and see if this happens. Okay, in 51, which is what we're editing, the next issue is at 173. So let's get back to it. Glorp access 3, star character equals and the glorp access dot gold equals 333, and now because glorp access 2 and 3 are both just a literal pointer to glorp, glorp's gold is 222 here, but by here is 333. And if we tried to do this with a star const character pointer, that would not work, and we would get a compiler error because the value becomes immutable. Moving along. When arguments are passed to a function, they're always passed as constants within the function. That mimics what I was saying earlier about why they take a thing when you have a function and you have to assign it to a var to be able to change it. If you send a pointer to a function, it's const by default, because you can take that pointer, assign it to a var, and then it can be modified. Which in the compiler, it's going to get rid of all that bullshit and just do the thing. Example function foo argue8 arg equals 42 error arg is const bar void var argue8 equals 12 foo. It's calling this foo. That's just there for, okay, I get it. All right. Knowing this, see if you can make level up work as expected. It should add the specified amount to the supplied character's experience points. Level up takes glorp and reward. Fix one of two. Fix one of two goes here. And there's more data segments allocated at compile time, and the stack allocated at runtime aren't the only places where program data can be stored in memory. They're just the most efficient. Sometimes we don't know how much memory our program will need until the program is running. Also, there's a limit to the size of stack. The size of stack memory allotted to programs, often set by our operating system. For these occasions, we have the heap. You can use as much heap memory as you like, within physical limitations, of course, but it's much less efficient to manage because there is no built-in CPU support for adding and removing items as we have with the stack. Also, depending on the type of allocation, your program may have to do expensive work to manage the use of the heap memory. We'll learn about heap allocation later. Woo! This has been a lot of information. You'll be pleased to know that the next exercise gets back to learning Zig language features we can use right away to do more things. Hooray! Great. Does 51 compile? 51 did compile. 1 false, 2 true, 3 true, XP before, 0 XP after 200. Hooray! It did the thing. So now we're at slices. We have made so little progress. We spent too much time talking about Mormons and how life is basically meaningless and nobody cares. Some people care, but honestly, if they care, they probably are not here. What else? Other issues. We've had issues. We've forgotten what they all are, but they exist. around, what is it? 4:25 a.m. in Alaska, and when left to my own desires and whatnot, 4-ish a.m. is like my bedtime. It's my natural bedtime, in which I want to wake up at somewhere between 11 and noon for 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 10. So 7 to 8 hours normal natural sleep, but I want it, my brain wants it to start at 4 in the morning. It's just natural. It's what I drift to between 4 and 5 in the morning, and I can't seem to push past that 5 in the morning barrier. Like, if I'm still up at 5 in the morning, I'm like, God, I gotta go to bed. There's no excuse for being up this late. It's ridiculous. Oh, I can't even hold my eyes open. And I've made very little progress. Shockingly little progress. I couldn't stop talking about this stuff and things. I don't even have my chat displayed. Did anyone say anything in chat? No, nobody did. Just making sure. I wouldn't want to ignore people, even if they came in saying life has meaning and that maybe Mormons aren't all that bad. They could say anything they wanted. I would respond. But they could say it. That's what counts. Freedom of speech. The thing with freedom of speech is you have to remember that you're not the only one who has it. And the problem with speech is that your brain processes everything that you hear, so there are things that you can hear that will cause your brain to do things that you would not like it to do. It's, your brain is just taking all the input it's receiving and processing it. And there's certain input that when you process it, you may not have a desired outcome. And it's important to remember that. Alright, well, does my avatar know that my eyes are closed? Does it get confused when I hold my eyes closed for a really long time? Maybe not. Oh. Well, maybe I will make shorts out of bits and pieces of this video, because most of it has just been me jibber jabbering in vaguely offensive ways, and that's what this channel is all about. Programming on a side note. It's allowed dead code after all. Dead code. Good Lord, I really thought I'd make more progress. I thought that a little bit of alcohol will help me concentrate. Not true. Should have known it wasn't true. If anybody watches this and makes it to the point where they hear me say what I'm saying now, thanks for hanging out. And, have a good time and peace and love and junk and stuff and junk. And this is the ossuary way. Everything around you is dead. Take a moment to say nice things about the things that were. Have a great day. If you want. No pressure. I guess I will go lay down. It's that time. Nighty night. And we're about to experience, because I still haven't fixed the font. You're mostly just gonna see the crow and barely be able to see the text underneath it. It's not important exactly. Anyway, have a great day.
Let's wrap it up now. Yeah, except for a killer right now.
So once again we leave this place of darkness and that familiar voice of evil that puts fear into the hearts of men and little old ladies in small fluffy apples. So until we meet again, good night out there. Whatever.